الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا تجعل الحزن والصعب إذا ما شئت سهلا. The Sheikh right now is reciting or concluding Surah Al-An'am, and the surah before that was Surah Al-Ma'idah, and we kind of have given an idea about the general theme of every surah. Surah Al-Baqarah was about the shara'i', the legislations, and then Surah Al-Nisa about the social justice, and then here comes Surah Al-Ma'idah about the mawathiq and uhud, to endorse what has been introduced in the previous two surahs, and more specifically about the dynamic of the family and the issues that we need to be aware of in our life. So Allah Azza wa Jal at the beginning of Surah Al-Ma'idah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَوْفُوا بِالْعُقُودِ. O you who believe, fulfill and endorse your promises and your covenants. And as the Prophet ﷺ indicated, أَوْثَقُ الْعُهُودِ مَا اسْتَحْلَلْتُمْ بِهِ فُرُوجُ النِّسَاءِ. And the most endorsed and important covenant you have is what you had between the two of you in the covenant of the marriage. And this would lead us to talk about an important issue that many of us don't pay attention to, which is number one, the wasiyah, the will, especially as we're living in this part of the world. If you do not have your wasiyah, work on creating one for you. It shouldn't take you long to do it. You can Google online, and there are some services available for that. Number two is, in my assessment and based on what I'm seeing in my practice, is to have a prenuptial agreement. This is an agreement between the two sides into creating, the dynamic between the two sides financially, as well as in the arrangements of the family. Now, I am speaking about my own practice and based on so many studies that has been done on the importance of creating something like this. Why? It gives a peace of mind for each side and clarity in the dynamic of what needs to be done and who is going to do it. And in the event of Allah forbid something wrong happen, what's going to happen between the two sides and how things will be resolved. More importantly, financially, because this is the most important one. And in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah Azza wa Jal also speaks about them, لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما عقدتم عليه الأيمان. Allah Azza wa Jal also speaks about the mawathiq, the uhud, and more specifically about the oath. Your oath, you, and especially I'm speaking to the brothers now, you're held accountable by your words. When you as a man misuse your privilege as being the person in charge and do not hold yourself accountable for what you say, and sometimes out of anger you say things you don't mean, or you make an oath you don't mean it, then there are ways to deal with it. And even if you were to make an oath, then there are ways, and as Allah Azza illustrated, to break your oath and compensate that with a kaffara. Now, with that has been said, now the Surah Al-An'am. Surah Al-An'am is an amazing surah. And my reminder here is more practical about the dynamic of the surahs, and the spiritual reminder will be after Salat al-Fajr. Now, in Surah Al-An'am, Allah Azza wa Jal focuses on the Tawheed, the importance of Tawheed, and connect that with our psychology. كتب ربكم على نفسه الرحمة أنه من عمل منكم سوءا بجهالة فأنه غفور رحيم. Right, Shaykhuna? And he's looking at me for the time. I make it short, inshallah. We conclude it next inshallah tomorrow. But the importance of being mindful of the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal in the context of the Allah Azza wa Jal's Tawheed is very important for us as a human being. We are so vulnerable beings, and we need to live with that rahmah from Allah Azza wa Jal. And if the rahmah is taken away, then we will feel despair. Now tomorrow, inshallah, for the sake of time, I want you to think, especially for the youth, what's the connection between the Tawheed, the youth, and your role as an important component in the community. This is something, inshallah, we'll explore tomorrow bi'idhnillah Azza wa Jal, exploring that from Surah Al-An'am, and then, because inshallah, most likely today they will conclude Surah Al-An'am and move to Surah Al-A'raf. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.